Since now that we know that you're uniquely actually positioned in the South, and we wanted to get your reaction to what's obviously the important Georgia runoff race, which is going on tomorrow. Yeah, did you just have any opening thoughts on that? I guess we could start by getting your prediction. Or do you have any hope, confidence at all that the Democrats are going to be able to get one or both of these seats?
I think Warnock has a chance. I personally wouldn't vote for a Democrat as long as I live.
Yeah.
Even Christine, isn't she running as a Democrat?
Yeah, but she's into like 2 districts down from me. I'm in Ted Deutsch's. So
funny.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Ossoff is pretty centristy.
Oh, dude, he's bad. Definitely.
Yeah, no, I think he's horrible. But I think Warnock might have a chance. But I'm not really excited about either candidate. I think the Senate's going to remain the same no matter what. I don't care if Chuck Schumer is the majority leader or Mitch McConnell. It makes no difference to me.
I mean, I feel like from like an organizational standpoint, though, having the or at least not having them have the excuse of the facade of Mitch McConnell being the blockade, at least if it's a Democrat blockade, at that point, there's nowhere for them to hide. They can't point at anyone. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I feel like, go what?
That is the one advantage.
Yeah, and I think essentially at this point, that's the only thing that you can really hope for, right? Is the fact that maybe if, both of, because obviously, Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue are probably 2 of the most corrupt senators in all of Washington. So I think for that reason, there is a unique position, obviously also with McConnell standing against the checks that obviously hurt their chances, at least from what I've been led to believe. It's really tough after this last election. I've officially sworn off any polls. Polls are dead to me. So is Nate Silver. So I'm not entirely sure what to expect, but I guess, the only thing we can do is hope, right? Hope that, they pull this out, not for any kind of legislative win that we're going to get from Ossoff for sure. Maybe Warnock, he seems like he might have some decent sensibilities. He would be behind some sort of maybe mild legislation that would be certainly more beneficial to the people than the alternative.
I mean, at least we won't have to know that our taxpayers, or at least the people of Georgia's tax dollars, aren't literally going to fund the salaries of 2 of the most corrupt politicians. For me, I guess it just comes down to that personal preference where I'm like, we have 2 of the most hideous, odious, corrupt people in the Senate. At least it would be a rejection of that intense corruption. Whereas, like you referenced, Warnock seems to be, maybe a little, definitely not my kind of, leftist, but definitely maybe not as bad as some of your the worst
definitely not an Ossoff. Yeah, I mean, I guess if he's running immediately adjacent to that guy, it's easier to look good.
But he's still a corporate Democrat, to be sure. And I mean, if they lose, then I think it'll be in part because of the fact that as bad as the Republicans are, it's really not like Ossoff and Warnock are that inspirational or sensational of candidates either.
Right. I always say the Democrats, even if they win the 2 House seats or the 2 Senate seats tomorrow, they're not going to have the Senate. You still have Joe Manchin, who votes with Republicans, maybe 75-80% of the time.
Yeah. Yeah, that actually is a good point, and I think that Joe Manchin will probably become the new scapegoat for these. I don't know. It would be interesting to see Nancy Pelosi being like, "Oh, I'm the Speaker of the House," or Chuck Schumer or whomever. You know what I mean? Just like, "Oh, I'm held bound by this, member of my party who ranks, beneath me." I guess it would be interesting to see how they spin that on MSNBC to make it look like it's none of the Democratic Party leadership's fault.
Right. They could blame Assange for all their failures if they wanted to, and they'll still get away with that on mainstream media.